estate market is slowing down. Is that true? And what's up with interest rates? How's it impacting the market? Don't worry, I got you. Peace family, my name is Lee Kaylee Darden, realtor here in Chicago. In this video, I will be discussing interest rates are impacting the market, Chicago's real estate trends for the past week, and data to address the state of the real estate market. Let's get into it.
All right, so let's take a look at the market in general. This is not just Chicago. I actually got this from Keeping Current Matters, my realtors, y'all know what that is. But this is really a breakdown of the market in general within our nation. And so what we are seeing is that there are less offers being received. Last month, there was an average of 5.5 offers being received on a property, whereas in this month, we're seeing that there's about 4.2 as an average of offers on a property. So it's not a significant difference, but it is going down. We are also seeing that offers above asking is also down as well. Last month, it was about 61% of offers were above asking. Now we see that about 55% of offers were above asking, which is still more than half. And then as far as sales, we also know that sales and the homes closing are going down as well. And then what does this mean for our buyers? This means that there is a rise in inventory. So we are seeing a rise in inventory. And just so that you know, this doesn't mean that there are more listings being put out. It just means that there are less homes selling, which means next month there are even more listings to add to the new ones that come along. When we look at historical data compared to mortgage rates and the recessions, we can see that over time during a recession, the mortgage rates drop. Now, we know that mortgage rates went as high up to have been as high as 5.5% since the pandemic, knowing that they dropped significantly low towards the start of the pandemic. And so those interest rates actually rose. Now that we are about to go into a recession or may already be in a recession, what we should see is our interest rates dropping once again. And we can also see historically over time, there are only, there's only one time where interest rates were higher than they were in a previous recession. So hopefully what we see is that those interest rates get down to this again, and that becomes our new norm. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. Also, I think it's important to note that a recession does not necessarily equal a housing crisis. As we can see from the data in previous years and previous recessions, we actually had home prices go up in most of these recessions. And if we think about now, we know that home prices are really, really high. They're the highest that they've really ever been. So it may not be likely that a recession is going to equal a housing crisis, especially with the interest rates kind of normalizing the market right now. Here we have a quote from Mark Fleming. There has been a pickup in inventory that we've seen recently, but it's not from a big increase in new listings, but rather a slowdown in the pace of sales. And remember that month supply measures the inventory of sales relative to the pace of sales. Same inventory, fewer sales means more month supply. So again, we're not getting a ton of new listings to hit the market. We're just seeing our properties sit for a little longer, which means there's more inventory for the next month when we're calculating the inventory on the market, which also is great for buyers because now you have more time to kind of look at homes and grab a home that meets more of your needs. I do want to caution some buyers just because now you've seen a home on the market for maybe more than 30 days. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with the home, just that the market is slowing down. So let's look at some Chicago data because I am a Chicago realtor. And so in Chicago, again, we are seeing home prices are still pretty high, higher than they were last year. Blue is this year, green is last year. We're up to about 310 here in Chicago as far as last week goes. There was a slight dip the week after July 4th, but as you can see in the trends from last year, that seems to be right on par. As far as new listings go, again, last year we had some very similar trends to what we're seeing right now. And I wanted to point that out because a lot of times we look at data in a very small view, and we say things like, oh my gosh, there's not a lot of listings on the market, or whew, there's so many listings. But if we look at historical data, we can actually see that these trends go along with what may be happening in this season. So we had a holiday here. You can assume there's going to be less properties that hit the market because people are traveling, they're moving around, they're doing things they may not be thinking about putting their market on the house, putting their home on the market. But once they come back, they're feeling good, they're determined to go ahead and put that house on the market. And I also want to point out, as we just said earlier, that just because we have quote unquote new listings, it doesn't mean that they're brand new listings. It just means that some properties may be sitting a little bit longer and run over into the next month. As far as listings under contract here in Chicago, we have about 3,435 last week. Again, looking at last year's trends, it seems like it's right on par. But I do kind of want to go back and look at how many of these under contract coincide with new listings. So we had 6,658 new listings, 3,435 under contract. So that's about half of these listings are going under contract. So even though the market is slowing down, it doesn't necessarily mean that there are not a lot of buyers. Buyers are still out there. Definitely. They are just kind of taking their time a little bit more and really thinking about what they want to do, especially with interest rates rising. As far as homes closed, we did see a slight dip here, again, accounting for the holiday and looking at the trends from last year, it's right on par. I also want to note that closed homes are usually about a month out. These are not, so July 11th through July 18th, someone did not go under contract and then close in that same week. Usually a closing is about 30 to 45 days out. So when we look at this data, we can assume that this is really what was happening a month out from this week. And then rentals, guys, they are smacking y'all over the head. It's as high as it's ever really been. We've seen now that the average rental price is $2,000. The only other time it was $2,000 was right before the week of July 4th. And if I should have put this data in the slide, but this week right here, historically as well, is also the week where a lot of people rent. So if you are a renter, how about, we look at the trends and be smart about it. You probably don't want to find a rental the week of the 4th. You should probably wait a while and see what happens. Literally, you can wait the next week and it'll go down at least $100. And we see that same trend. Ooh, it went up last year. They was not playing. Never mind. Basically, you just need to stop renting, okay? Because this $2,000, let's do a little math. Let's do some math. So what a 2000 mortgage. Okay. Now I want to make sure I include this. I am not including taxes in this number. I'm not including insurance in this. I am not including any other homeowner expense or fees that may go into your monthly amount towards your mortgage. And the reason I'm not doing that is because it's super personalized. And I want to make sure that nobody is taking my videos and then going to their lender and saying, I should be paying a $2,000 flat fee, no insurance, no. You did not get that from me. I'm telling you right now that if you want to know exactly how much you're going to pay per month, you need to go talk to a lender. It does not matter how many videos you watch. Nobody's going to be able to give you exact numbers for you because you have your own situation, and underwriting is going to really be able to sift through your personal information to find your personal rates. Now, with that being said, let's just look at a general overview of how you can start to get an idea of what you can afford. So if you're paying $2,000 a month in rent, let's just calculate how much that is in a year. So $2,000 times 12, that is 24,000. So 2,000 times 12 is 24,000. Okay. This is how much you're paying. All right. Per year. Okay. Um, now a average home loan is going to be about 30 years. So you're usually going to take a purchase price and divide that by 30. Now, guys, 30 is a long time. Okay. There is a way for you to shorten this time, and there's a couple of things you can do. You can refinance your home when mortgage rates dropped, which I want to go back to this. That's why during the pandemic, a lot of homeowners were winning during this time. If you did not take advantage of this, you definitely should have. I just want to go back real quick. Yeah. So, a lot of you guys who are homeowners may have bought your home in 2007, 2009, which was the last recession, which was a really great time to get into real estate because the houses went down. A lot of people were able to get in. People who had money already and who knew what they were doing, who were not afraid of a housing bubble. Okay. They got in and they got these low interest rates, which were lower than the previous year. Now, even if you got an interest rate of 6%, 4.9%, and you refinance during this recession, in 2020 or during the pandemic because they were still pretty low, you actually have saved some money on your house. This is why you want to refinance, because your interest rates are going to be lower, which means your monthly amount is lower. Another way that you can lower the time that you're paying on a mortgage is to make double the payment a month. Now, some of y'all might be like, what? I can't make no double payment a month. Cool. What I would advise you to do, or what I would do if it were me, I would find a home that I know I could pay double the mortgage on so that I could pay it off faster. Or you can get a y'all, let me stop. I'm giving y'all too many gems, but let me go ahead and get this out here. You can also buy a multi-unit, which will at least reduce the amount that you're going to pay because you have other people living there. And then think about this, you only have to live there for a year. So once you move out, it can be a fully rented unit that is now either completely paying the mortgage or giving you some type of passive income, which you can use to reapply back into the mortgage to pay it off faster. All right, so there are more tips as well. You can check out my TikTok. I'm pretty sure I got a video on there. But let's kind of get more into the affordability of the house, okay? So you in rent right now may be paying about $24,000 a year. If you get a loan, that's going to be a 30-year fixed loan. Fixed loan just means that the interest rate is going to be fixed. They're not going to fluctuate your interest rate based off of the market. The only way that that would happen is if you refinance for a lower rate. Okay, so let's assume that you're going to put in 24,000 for 30 years. So let's do that math. 24,000 for 30 years. Wow. That equals 720,000. Which is crazy. Now, again, this is very simple math. This is obviously not going to be the exact numbers, but this is something that, again, you can use to kind of help you get an idea of what you can account for. Now, what I would do if it were me, I would definitely call a lender and I would say, hey, like, can you run my credit? Can you tell me where I'm at right now in the process? And what most lenders will do is, even if you are not at a point where you can be pre-approved, they will give you some tips on how you can increase your credit. And the great thing about talking to a lender instead of just talking to a credit repair specialist is that the lender is going to tell you exactly what to do to get approved through their underwriting. Okay. Whereas what I find with some credit repair specialists who are not specifically tied to a lender or are not trying to get their clients into a home is that they will want you to do something pretty general, and it won't necessarily help you as quickly in being able to qualify for a home loan. Now, with that being said, that's pretty much all that we have. Join me next week to look at Chicago's real estate market, we're obviously going to look at the historical data to see if it matches up or if we have an outlier in this market. If you are a buyer, this is a great time for you to really explore the listings that are on the market. As a reminder, just because a home is sitting for a while does not mean that it's not of great value. We just are seeing the market slow down. If you are a seller, listen, sellers, you know these buyers, they've been a little antsy during the pandemic. So what I want to suggest for you is that you get a hold of your listing so that you can get the highest and best offers coming your way. I definitely have some tips that I can share with you, and I have some marketing strategies that will work for you as a seller. Feel free to reach out to me and I can get you that information. And if you are an investor, I'm pretty sure that you have been staying on top of the historical trends. And so you know what to look out for. If you're a new investor, I definitely suggest that you connect with me so that we can figure out if you are going to go the multifamily route or if you need a hard money loan, baby, because you are going to do a flip or a hold. All right, I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.